Well, good evening. Hello, my name is Darren, and really what we're going to do is just going to wait for a moment just to make sure that we're broadcasting okay. A little bit before schedule, because obviously we've got a lot to do today as usual, and I don't want to waste any time. And there we go. So we are broadcasting fine and not got my squeaky voice. That's the important thing. Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Darren Barton. Welcome to our Zukul weekly hangout. We do these every Wednesday, and we basically focus doing a series of videos across a particular topic. We've done a series of videos on marketing, and at the moment we're doing a series of videos on how to earn money quite quickly and hopefully quite safely using binary options. And obviously we're doing this because Zukul, the company that we're working with at them, is creating a Zukul bot. And basically what that will do is it will connect your trading account with the Zukul bot, and the bot will do all the trades for you. Now, there is nothing out there at the moment that does this, okay? There are lots of, what would you call them? Softwares, maybe, signal tools, and things which say they're a bot, but they're physically not a bot. They may give you a signal and suggest that you log into your platform and enter the market now. Well, practicality means that there's going to be a delay. Whether you get your phone on the signal on your phone, by the time you log in, place your order, whether it be up or down, obviously you could have missed that particular signal and missed that trade. And there are other companies which say that they will trade for you, and the people who work within the platform will do the trades on your behalf, and that's all well and good. My experience has been a bit patchy, okay, and I will leave it at that, but I'm sure you'll be able to have a search on the internet about whether you're going to get a good service or not with that. And so what we're doing with Zukul is absolutely unique. Okay, there is no other word for putting it. It's the first time that a platform that we're working with, and we're working with Pocket Options, they are being incredibly helpful. They're working alongside us at the moment, and the programmers, and we're connecting the bot up. We're running hundreds and hundreds of tests every single day, and I know that Jeremy has obviously got a lot of information that he's going to share with you next week and over the next couple of weeks, as when we start to roll this out to the membership of the Zukul team. Now, if you're interested in the Zukul bot, if you just stumbled across this video by accident, you know nothing about Zukul bot, you know nothing about our cryptocurrency trading bots, you know nothing about binary options, then if you stick with me for the next 60 minutes or so, you'll learn everything, okay? That's my big promise to you. If you still have questions and you're watching this live, then obviously if you go to the side here, you'll see that there's a live chat. And if you put your questions in capital letters, I can see Adscanto has already done that. So if you put your questions in there, put them in capitals, because it obviously makes it a lot easier for me to read them. And if you want to leave a comment, you can leave a comment down below. And again, I will go through those comments and answer those questions either below there in the comment section, or I'll get in touch with you personally, and we can go through any particular situation that you're in, and we can probably help you out. Now, as far as where we are with Zukul and Zukul trading bots, we have got a massive amount of bots at the moment. We have got crypto trading bots, which will trade cryptos against fiat currency, so whether that be dollars, sterling or euros. We've got bots that will do that for you automatically. We've got crypto against crypto bots. Those are bots that will trade cryptocurrencies against another cryptocurrency. We have got gold trading bots as well, which will trade crypto against gold. And again, it will not only trade these pairings for you, in obviously making you profits for you, but it will also help you buy these products at really low prices and allow you to accumulate, whether it be accumulating cryptocurrency, whether it be accumulating gold, whether it be accumulating wealth. These bots will do that for you. And again, you can have them on an automatic or a semi-automatic. Now, there is a lot to go through, as you can imagine. I don't even pretend to even start to go through those on today's hangout. So what we're going to focus on today is we're going to go through the binary options. We're going to show you how binary options work. It's really there's a lot of, quite rightly, there's quite a lot of scare stuff out there about binary options, and we're going to do a little bit of explaining why those stories are out there, and also what you can do to hopefully not fall victim to those scare stories. So we're going to do for that a little bit to begin with, and then we'll go straight into trading. We'll show you how I do my trading, and then we'll actually do some live trading. Now, if you want to follow me doing these trades, then obviously if you go down, there'll be, I think it's the first comment that is in there. There is a couple of useful links. There is a link there to Pocket Option. Now you can just go to Pocket Option and register for them with well, to be honest, you can use a bogus email. Doesn't really matter. All we're going to do is going to use a demonstration account, and you'll get a demonstration account straight away. So, but there's a link down there if you are aspirational and you want access to the binary bot. Then obviously there's a link down there that you can use. And then once the binary bot then starts to be released, and it will be released in a very much, you know, a little bit of a time, a little bit of a time, a little bit of a time. We're not going to do a mass launch on this. You need to understand that. But if you want aspirational for being on that waiting list, if you like, for the bot, then use that link there. Failing that, like I say, just get onto Pocket Option and register there, and we'll and follow along with me as we go through the setting up of putting the right settings in there, going to the right pairings that are available today to start trading, and then we'll actually do some live trades, and you can click away to your heart's content. Follow along with me. All right. Now, just a caveat to that, I will be trading in my demonstration account, because I want to demonstrate how we do trades. Okay, so again, I will tell you what my usual settings are, and then I will change those depending on how the volatility of that pairing is, and I will obviously flag that up to you. But if you're trading with real money, please don't necessarily copy exactly what I'm doing tonight, because I'm going to make some deliberate mistakes. I'm going to enter the market when perhaps I wouldn't normally. Again, just to show you what happens when we lose trades and how we then hopefully recover those losses later on. So again, I'll flag that up when we get to it. Now, let me just have a quick look through, see if we've got any questions. I noticed one right at the beginning. So Adscanto, how much for the membership and all cost for binary and arbitrage bots? Okay, right. Well, the release for the binary bot, what Adscanto there is talking about are our two latest trading platforms, if you like, that we're releasing with Zukul. As I say, we've got 3 or 4 bots which are already working brilliantly. They're in the back office. You've got access to those. Again, I think from the beginner package, we've got 4 packages. Starts from $10 a month up to $185 a month. And depending on which package you've got, you have got more features with those bots, but you do have access to those bots. Now, the binary bot and the you've called it the arbitrage bot. We're calling it the smart wallet. We think that's much more of a more suitable name for what it's going to be. All right. So those 2 bots, they're going to be available first of all to founders. Okay, and then they're going to be released to the advanced, and we then think to the intermediate levels. And then once we've got those 2 levels with the bots and we've got them working, everybody's happy, we've got testimonials, we'll then start to look at other ways of releasing those bots as well. What you need to understand is that the new bots that we're bringing online will never, ever, ever be in the $10 package. Okay, there is plenty of value already in that $10 package. They're always really, all of our new bots are really going to be in those top 2 packages, really. And that's just realistically reflecting the profitability potential within those bots, and obviously the amount of financing, if you like, in creating these bots, and obviously the programming resources that go into that as well. So hopefully that answers your question in the fact that they will be in those two packages at Scanto. So hopefully that answers your question. When you will get access to them, I'm not going to even go down that road because, again, we're going to do a slow and steady release. And again, it will start with the founders. It will then go down to the next level and then down to the next level. So it depends on where you are in that structure, if you like. So let me just quickly scroll down, see if there's any more questions. No more questions. All right, brilliant. Okay, now what I'm going to do is very quickly bring you guys up to speed. For those of you who've not been paying attention, or for those of you just looking at this video for the first time, if you want more meat on the bones that I'm going to go through now, because I'm conscious that we're about 10 minutes in already and I don't want to be wasting too much time on this next segment, is I'm going to basically show you how we structure my trading regime. Okay, this isn't this trading regime that Jeremy has. This isn't the trading regime that the bot has. This is how I physically trade in a manual process. Okay, so I'm going to go through that section now. If you want more meat on those bones, then I suggest you go through the other videos in the series. If you're watching this video, it'll be part of a playlist. Just go back to the other ones. If you go to the first sort of 15, 20 minutes of those videos, and I'll be able to go through those go through that detail in a lot more detail, really. All right. Now I'm going to just be quiet for a moment because I can't multitask. So I'm just sharing my screen, and we're now going to go very quickly to presentation. Just get rid of that. Okie doke. Right, I'll put my glasses on and I'll just have a quick drink. Just bear with me a moment. Okay. Now, hopefully this will also give you time to obviously log into your Pocket Options account, get your details in there. And again, remember, it's a demonstration account that you want. Do not be using the live trading account, certainly at this stage. Okay, now there is an awful lot that I could go through. Okay, now I'm going to just quickly skip through. I'm going to go through the safe tips because that's really important from my point of view, because I just want to make sure that you understand this is critical. All right, again, it's all my personal opinion. So the safety tips. Okay, just go in. I have two accounts. I have a demo account and I have a live account. I have to log out of one to log into another. Okay, and I use that as a sort of a calming down period, because I could be using the demonstration account, I could be trading really, really well, and it would be so easy to then flick over to live and then continue to start trading. And yes, I have been profitable in doing that, but equally, I've been a little bit risky, if you like, taken a few more risks. And certainly, for those of you who are doing this for the first time, I certainly would have that as a sort of a calming down process of logging out of your demo account, then logging back into a live account, and then using that live account. It just gives you a little bit of a breathing space, thinking time. Okay. Stick to your money management plan. All right. I'm going to show you what money management plan we're going to create for today. Once you've got it, you stick to it, no matter whether you're winning or whether you're losing. All right. Next one is, once you come out of your demo account, you bet small. If you're using real money, you bet small, and you only increase it in line with your money management plan. Okay. Only use money that you don't need. I have people contacting me saying, will Pocket Options or will this platform take a credit card? Yes, it will. It will take any amount of money that you want to throw at it. And that is the problem. Okay. Please do not use your credit card to fund your trading account. If you're using a credit card, that has to be a huge red flag to you personally, that you do not have the spare money. Okay, you have to be using cash. All right, whether that be in a bank account, whether that be Bitcoin, whether it be some other cryptocurrency, whatever it might be, and use cash to fund your account. In theory, that cash is money that you can lose. All right, without it affecting you paying your mortgage or buying food or whatever it might be. But if you're using a credit card, then that's just such a no-no. If you were to lose all of that money, you now not only use the credit card company money, you also owe them interest. Okay, so please do not use credit card money. Never chase your losses. You will. Everybody goes through a period of loss after loss after loss after loss. Do not think I'll continue trading until I win that money back. Okay, it's the worst thing that you could do. As soon as you have a couple of losses, you need to effectively log out, go make a cup of tea, walk the dog, do something. Stretch your legs, do something different. If you then want to come back to it that day, then fine. But please don't sit at the computer trying to overanalyze what you did wrong or what you should have done. Do not chase your losses. And again, this is part and parcel of the money management plan, is always have an exit plan when trades go bad, particularly when trades go bad. If you are losing a certain amount of money, okay, if you part of your money management plan should be, if I lose X percentage today, then I stop trading, irrespective of what's happening, okay? And you need to stick to that. So your money management plan, what does that look like? Basically, you will trade between 1% using 1% or 5% of your trading balance. Now, your trading balance could be $10,000 in your demo account, let's say. So if you've got $10,000, all right, 5% of that would mean that each time you placed a bet, you would be betting with $500 each time, which means that you could lose $500 every time you got a bet wrong. Now, if that sounds too much, then just basically roll back the percentage till you get to a figure that you're happy with. So it might be 2.5%, it might be 1%, it might even be less than that. It might be that you're only happy losing $50. Whatever it is, okay, stick to it. Do not think after a couple of wins, right, I've lost $50, I'm now going to start to bet $200 to try and get that money back. That is simply a road to disaster. Whatever your starting trades are, you stick with it, all right? So therefore, if you go with $500 or 5%, it means that you can lose up to 20 trades before you basically spend up your balance of $10,000. So that's basically how that process works. The other part is, if you should lose a bet, what happens? Do you place another bet? Do you not place a bet, or do you place a bet for a different amount of money? Now, what we've got here is a very simple, what's called a martingale system. And if you don't know what martingale is, you can go and Google it. I'm not going to waste time going through that now. There's plenty of information on the internet which will show you what it is. But basically, this is what it looks like. In this section here, if you were to lose a bet, i.e. by this one, then you do not place a second bet. Okay, so you could go with that scenario. Or you could go, if you lost a bet here, then you would place another bet immediately afterwards, okay, for the same value of your original bet. Or you could choose this route, where if you lost a bet, you would place a second bet immediately afterwards at 2 times the value of your initial losing bet. So if you bet $50 here, then your second bet obviously would be 2 times the $50, which would be $100. And the reason that this works reasonably well to a point is that if you were to win the second bet, okay, because you're using a larger amount of money, it would cover the losses and also give you additional profit on the winning bet. So it would cover the losses of the first bet, and it would obviously give you a profit as well. Like I say, there's lots and lots of theory around martingale. I'm not going to go through that today. All I'm going to show you today is we're going to use the 1-for-1 betting plan, and we're going to be using around about $300 per bet. Okay, so that's the system that I'm going to be using today. This is a little bit of information just explaining what I've just gone through today, but that's what we're going to be doing. So I'll place one bet of $300. If we lose that, I will then place another bet of $300. If I should lose that one, then I will not place another bet. Okay, so that's basically what we're going to be doing. I'm going to show you price action and how that works when we go into it in a bit more detail live, so I'm not going to go through that. What we will be doing is we're going to be using candles, which are these green and red sticks. Okay, again, I'll show you a little bit more about that when we get live. And we're going to use what we call Bollinger Bands. Okay, and that's this red line at the top and this green line at the bottom. We're not going to trouble ourselves tonight with the bluish turquoise line in the middle. Okay, it's just the red and the green line. We'll go through that, like I say, in a little bit more detail in a moment. And what I will now do is just to basically show you the type of charts that we're going to be looking for. Now, this is what I would call a good chart, okay? And it's very easy to trade with hindsight. In other words, it's very easy to be stood here and look at what you would have done, okay? It's very difficult to be stood here and making a decision about what's going to happen in the future. And that would be true for, you know, a city trader as well as a robot, okay? But in retrospect, what we're looking for, okay, as far as trading tonight, is we're looking for these Bollinger Bands here to start to get smaller, and also this central line to become relatively flat. Okay, I know it sort of dips, rises, and then dips again, but you just bear in mind that this is a time period of about 2 hours. So it's relatively flat during this period. And you can see here that the Bollinger Bands are alternating. So generally you've got red, green, green, red, red, green, red, green, red. So it's sort of up and down, up and down, up and down, as opposed to continually, you know, red, 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 or green, green, green. So that's the type of stableness that we're looking for. And if we were to trade this using our system, then we've got the opportunity here of all of these winning trades. Now, the alternative is obviously a bad chart. And what does a bad chart look like? Well, here you can see that the Bollinger Bands are coming well out of, sorry, the candles are coming well out of the Bollinger Bands here. And there's also large gaps between the Bollinger Bands that are appearing here and here. And you can also see that the general pattern is going up. It's not as radical as it can be, and I'll show you some shocking charts when we go live. But you can see here that there is a steady run of red candles, then there's a steady run of green, another steady run of green. This is all going to cost you trades. And if you have a look out of this same time period, how many sort of winning and losing trades you're going to get. And again, it's easy to look at it with hindsight. It's what you're going to be doing in the future. That's the important thing. But it's basically understanding that you know, you can't trade the past, but you can use it as a guide for what's going to happen in the future. So we're going to do some live trading. All right. So in summary, we're going to be using 1 minute candles. We're going to be using it with Bollinger Bands, and I'm going to show you how to set all those up. We're going to be placing what we call reverse bets when the candles close above or below the Bollinger Bands. Again, I will explain all of this to you. And our money management plan is that we're going to be doing a 1-for-1 betting plan. Okay, so if we lose one, if we lose one bet, we're going to bet the same amount again immediately, and we're going to be using bets of around about $300. Okay, so that's the plan. Let's put the whole thing into action. Now, just before we flash back over, I just want to make sure that I've got everybody on board with that. So if you've got any questions, nope, no questions. All right, brilliant. Right, so if you log into your Pocket Options account, and if you want to follow along with me now, then that would be good. Let me just have a quick drink while some of you log in. Okay, right, we've got about let's say we've got about half an hour's worth of trading. I'll keep popping back into the chat just to see if we've got any questions on there. And if I should forget or I scoot over something that you're unsure of, please make sure that you put it in that live chat, and I will obviously make sure that we go through it tonight. So first of all, there is a lot of noise on the right hand side and on the left hand side. Please don't be distracted by it. Okay, the only thing that you want to be focusing on is what's happening in the middle of the screen here. What is happening on this timer here? We've got two timers, but you only want to be looking at this one here, which says time until expiration. That's the timer that we're concerned about. And then you want to be looking at these, obviously, these red and green buttons at the bottom. That's the only area that we're going to be looking at. Now, what are we looking at the moment? Well, I'm looking at the Canadian dollar and Japanese yen, and this is obviously some price action between the two. And basically what's happening is, as you can see, the price starts low here and it comes up, down, up, down, up, 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 up. And it can be very difficult to understand whether the price is going to be going up or down. If you're using this type of chart, in my view, you're guessing. Okay, you're just guessing. And yeah, 50% of the time you might be right, 50% of the time you might be wrong. But unfortunately, because it's a 50-50 guess, you're going to ultimately lose money because just because of the way the percentages work. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set it up differently. We're going to use candles. So you want to come up to the top here, and we've got this zigzag line with a line underneath it, a straight line underneath it. I'm going to click that button, and we're going to choose candles first of all. So click on that button, and then underneath the candles, you'll get time frames. Now, where it says S5 and S10, that's basically seconds. So it's obviously showing you a candle every 5 seconds. Now we want to choose the 1 minute candles. You can of course choose a lot more for time frame, and you can even do hourly and even daily candles. But for tonight we're going to use the 1 minute candle. So we're going to click on the M1, and what that will do, it will change that same chart, the Canadian dollar and the Japanese yen. You can see now that we've got these candles patterns. If I just move it along, and to move the screen, just left click and hold on your mouse and just basically just drag your cursor up and down, and that'll move the chart left to right. If you want to make the actual chart bigger and smaller, if you've got the mousey feature on your the scrolling thing wheel on your mouse, then obviously you can use the wheel to obviously make the chart bigger and smaller. Okay, so hopefully that explains that. I did have somebody ask me that question. So that's what we've got at the moment, the Canadian and Japanese dollar in candles. And how do the candles work? Basically, as you can see here, we've used this big candle. If I just make it really big here, this one here, you can see that this candle is the price action for a minute. And the reason it's red is because the price started here at the top of this candle, and then during the course of the minute it dropped down, okay, and it came down to see the bottom of this like a wick, we call it, but it's a bit of a stick in the bottom of the candle. And then before the end of the minute, the price then rose a little bit and it finished just here. And that basically is showing you the price movement during the course of that time frame, that minute. And the next candle, okay, you can see that the price dropped a little bit immediately before the next candle started. So that's why this candle bottom is here. And again, during that minute, it rose up here. It rose as high as this point here. Again, it's got a little wick at the top of the candle. And then just before the end of that minute, you can see here that it stopped, and it then started the next candle, and so on and so on. So that's what basically turns the candles red, is when the price drops, and turns the candle green when the price rises. So it's important for us to understand why the candles are in different colours, because clearly we're going to be betting on the opposite of what has just happened. What's going to help us do that is by adding what we call Bollinger Bands. And to add a Bollinger Band is this box here with the line, squirrely line going up. So I'm going to click on that, and you'll get a pop-up box, and it will show you different indicators that you can use. Now, all of them have their advantages and disadvantages, but for today, we're going to use Bollinger Bands because I find them the easiest to use as a demonstration tool, okay? And you'll then set with, or give them some settings to put in. Now, the period box here, you've got 10. You can have it as small or as large as you want. It's entirely up to you. Basically, what that will do, it gives you, the period basically is the time period. Now, remember, we've got 1 minute candles. So effectively, it will take into account perhaps 10 or 8 candles. Okay, what we're going to do initially is we're going to put the period at 20. Okay, so that's going to look at the last 20 candles, and that will create what's called an SMA, which is a simple moving average, and that's the middle line, that cyan color, that sort of turquoisey blue color. Now that'll make sense in a moment when we obviously click OK and we see this Bollinger Band reflected on the chart. The deviation percentage is the distance between the SMA, which runs through the middle of the Bollinger Bands, the deviation between that and the top line and the bottom line. And in our case, the top line is going to be a red color, and the bottom line is going to be a green color. And I just use those colors to help me know which color button to hit. All right, that's the only reason that I have them designated that way. You can have whatever colors you want, it's totally irrelevant, but that's just the way I work it. And again, to make sure that I can see the lines really clearly, is I just change the depth, the thickness of that line to 2 pixels. And I leave the line in the middle, the SMA line, I just leave it as it is. So once you've got your settings like that, make sure that they are exactly like that, because I'm going to show you a few things in relation to these. You click OK. And there we are. So we are now in the Canadian-Japanese chart. Perhaps I need to show you how to find that. That might be a question. Let me just have a look. No, okay. Let me just. So how am I in this this pairing? You can see the box here with a little down arrow. If you click on it, you'll notice you've got all of these different currency pairings that you can choose from. So I've just chosen this one here. You have obviously got cryptocurrencies, commodities, and stocks to choose from, and we will come to those in a moment. But if you just come to currencies and click on Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, then obviously you'll be on this chart here. So we've just set up our Bollinger Bands. So this is that turquoisey green color, that SMA that I was talking about. So you can see it's a nice, relatively smooth line that basically runs down the middle of this Bollinger Band. We've then got our red top Bollinger Band at the top here, and then we've got our green Bollinger Band at the bottom here. Now you might be thinking that actually this doesn't look, oops, you might be thinking this doesn't look too bad in the fact that it's fairly flat, and you know, there's no sort of big openings or gaps of the Bollinger Bands, and also you know, we've almost got sort of the red green going on, but there is too much gappiness going on. See where these candles have come completely out of the Bollinger Bands? That's really not what we're looking for, and again, it's all happening up here. So if that's the case, then you might want to look at changing the depth of your Bollinger Band. So if we come back to the Bollinger Band here, okay, we're going to click on that. And you can see here, if we click the pencil icon, we can now edit it. Now remember, we had the 20 candle period, but we didn't change the deviation, we kept it at 1. So if we were to change that to 2, you can now hopefully, if we click the OK button, you'll see now that those Bollinger Bands have made it a lot wider. And you know, some of those losing trades that we were identifying here now don't necessarily appear. But what does happen is that you've got a losing trade here where the candle just doesn't go back in quickly enough, and again a losing trade here. And this is why it's really difficult to trade currencies, generally speaking, unless you know exactly what it is you're looking for. Now, how do we make a trade? What signals are we looking for? Well, really, let me just come to this period here. All right. Now I've just scrolled left a bit on the same chart, so I'm now looking at a time period that is around about 1948. You'll see the time period here at the bottom, and sort of 8:30ish. So that's the sort of time period I'm looking at. So if you want to scroll over to that, to the left a little bit, you'll get to the same period here. Now, if you just look at my screen for a moment, you'll notice that we've got some great trading signals in this time period. You can see here that we've got a green candle, okay, which comes up almost to that red Bollinger Band, okay, but it doesn't quite break it. But the next candle comes out of that Bollinger Band and it closes outside of the top. That would be a signal for us to then place a down bet, okay, because the price, as you can see, always wants to try and remain within these Bollinger Bands. So the moment it comes out of the Bollinger Band, it wants to go back in. And we're going to bet that it wants to go back in the next candle. So we would place a down bet. And as you can see, we would have won that down bet. You can see here that another green candle, okay, comes out of the Bollinger Band. So we would then place another down bet. And again, we would have won that bet there. And then the reverse happens. You can see here that the prices come down and this red candle here just pops out the bottom of this band here, and we would now place a reverse bet, i.e. the fact that the price would now go back up, and we would have won that bet there. Move on a few more minutes, you can see here really clearly this red candle comes down, it comes out of the bottom of the Bollinger Band. We're going to place a bet, and again we would win that, and so on. So there's another winning bet here, there's another winning bet here, and again pops out the top, so we place a down bet. So again, there's another winning bet here. Now, if we just move this along a little bit here to the center, okay, so I'm now at a time period which is about 20 to 9, quarter to 9, that sort of time frame here, looking at the bottom. You can see here that that red candle came well out of the Bollinger Bands. So what we would have done was have placed an up bet, and the fact that the price would have gone up. Now we would have won that bet because the price is up, even though that candle is red. Okay, even though that candle is red, we would have still won it because we would have placed the bet here, okay, and the price in the next minute has finished above that price point, so we would have won that bet. Now this is really important for you to see. Can you see that this candle here is outside of that Bollinger Band? That's what we would call a floating candle, and that would signify that there's something crazy about to happen. So we would not place another bet here. The reason I'm saying that you might place a bet is because our first rule is if the price ends below the Bollinger Band, then place an up bet. Okay, place a bet that the price is going to go up. The only times that we don't do that is like this, where you've got a floating or a gap candle. Okay, so you wouldn't have placed a bet there. If we scroll a little bit further along. Okay, here now I've gone right now almost up to the time that we're in now. So you can see right at the end here, we've got a green candle that's come up out of the top of the Bollinger Band. So our first instinct is to place a down bet. Okay, so we would have placed a down bet, but we would have lost that because you can see here that the price has finished higher than the price that we would have initially placed here. Okay, so we would have lost that bet. And the next problem is because you've lost that bet, you're immediately going to place another bet to go down. Now, there are two schools of thought on how you would do this. You could place a bet immediately, okay, that the price is going to go down in the next candle. Okay, remember we're going to do a 1 for 1. So if we lose a bet, we're going to place another bet immediately afterwards to try and compensate. But you see that candle there, it's gapped, all right? It's not gone into the Bollinger Band. So that would be, in my experience, would be a risk in placing another down bet, okay? Because as you can see, with hindsight, we would have lost it, all right? So whilst we're basic with the principle of if the price goes up, in one candle we place a price to go down in the next candle. Those principles still happen, okay, but you need to also understand that there are some occasions when that's probably not the right thing to do. Now, if we just move over to the left, what's currently happening, okay, so you can see here that this candle is just sort of half in and half out of the Bollinger Band, okay. So if I was being a bit bullish, I would now be saying, okay, well, I'm going to bet that the price is going to finish above, and I would be placing an up bet. But you can see here that this candle is actually going to close and is going to finish outside of the Bollinger Band, so we would have lost that bet. So just wait for this time to go down. Yeah, okay. And again, so here you could have placed a bet here for the price to go up, you would have lost. You could then have placed a bet here because you've lost this bet for the price to go up next time. Now you could do that, or you could think, well, actually there's a gap here, all right, so I'm not sure that the price is going to continue to go back up. It might actually continue to go down. So again, it's just about making sure that you're understanding and reading the patterns of the chart as clearly as you can. Okay, so those are the basic principles of what we're going to do in placing bets over the course of the next 20 minutes or so. Right, now come back up to the top here. So we're going to go to the CAD JP button. We're going to click on that. We're actually going to go to cryptocurrencies. And we're going to, first of all, have a look at the popular one, which is Bitcoin. So we'll click on Bitcoin. Now, I say this is popular because people know what Bitcoin is. So it's interesting for people to see what's happening with the price of Bitcoin. Now, I very rarely, if I'm honest, trade Bitcoin because it's generally doing something crazy. All right. So you can see here, if I've just zoomed out a little bit, you can see lots of candles in a pattern going up and down, up and down. And what we want, like I say, is either large candles, but alternating candles, and we want a fairly flat looking plan. Okay. So we'll come back up to the Bitcoin button. We'll click on that. And basically, the best thing to do is to start at the top left and click on that. So we've clicked on ARDA, and you can see just through. Now here you see we've got big gaps, and then it starts to narrow off a little bit, and this isn't close enough. These candles aren't large enough really for something that I want to demonstrate tonight. So we'll come out of there, and what I will now do is I'll just very quickly scoot through some of these to see if we can find ones which are going to be useful for us to trade with today. Some of these are better than others. That one a sec. Won't be a moment. I'll just have a quick drink while I scoot through these. And once I've identified some, I'll explain to you why I think they're possibly worth looking at. Okay, so I've just gone through that left-hand column. We'll just see if there's a couple that I tend to look at more often than not. I do like this one, ZEC BTC, and XMR BTC is usually quite a good one for demonstrating as well. Oh, look at that. Right, that is almost your perfect chart. So I'm looking at XMR BTC, okay, which is bottom right hand corner. Okay, now what I've done is I've clicked this little star here, all right, and what that does is it creates a little quick shortcut link that runs across the top here. So you can see now that I've chosen XMR BTC, which I mean now. I've looked at ZEC BTC, which again looks a really good chart for us to have a play with. I've chosen NEO, Litecoin, Ethereum BTC, and burst. I'm going to get rid of burst because I think we've got better things to look at. Ethereum BTC, we'll keep hold of that for now. That one looks good. Okay, right. Okay, we'll stick with XMR BTC for the moment. All right, and the reason I've chosen it is because you can see that, if just make it really small, you can see here that it has a tendency to be quite stable. Then it does mad craziness for a bit, and then it goes through a period of stableness, then does mad craziness again, and goes into a period of stableness. Now, it could be that we're just about to enter some mad craziness again, all right? But what we're going to do is we're going to just change our Bollinger Bands. Now, normally, if I'm trading with my real money, I work with the Bollinger Band settings that we've got now. So just to remind you what they are, I work with a period of 20 and a deviation of 2, okay? That's what I normally work with. I sometimes flex it up and down a little bit. Sometimes I'll have it at period 20 and deviation of 1.75, and sometimes it's a 2.5. But either way, it's usually of a period of 20, because that gives me what I feel is a little bit more stability in the actual moving average. Now, for demonstrating tonight, because I want to be able to create lots of signals, okay, I'm going to change these, and I'm going to change the period to 15, and I'm going to change the deviation to 1.75. Now, these aren't wacky. I also trade these settings as well, depending on what it is that I'm looking at. In fact, I trade these settings sometimes with XMR BTC and also NEO. So these aren't particularly wacky, but they do create obviously a lot more signals. And the idea of tonight is to create some signals so we can go through the whole thing live. So we'll click OK. Oh, look at that. It's duplicated it for some reason. Just put one over the other. Why has it done right? I shall nick that. Get rid of that. Current indicators, no currency indicators. It's a new indicator. Why has it got it on there? And there we go. So it's got rid of it. Okay. Sorry, I was chatting amongst myself there. Right, we're going to put the new indicator on again. So go to Bollinger Band. We go to 15, 1.75. Make that 2, and it's going to be red. And make that green, and make that 2. Click OK. Right, there we go. Right. So we've got 15. So you can see that this line moves a little bit more, and you can see the deviation, that band has narrowed. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly just whip through to see if we're going to get signals in the next minute or so. Okay. This looks quite good because you can see it's quite narrowing. All right, it's just about to narrow again. I'll come back to ZEC BTC. Right, we'll stick here at XMR BTC. Now, we've got our minute candles. The next thing we want to do is come down to the bottom here where it says 1 minute, okay? And you need to just click on the ticker and just make sure that we've got 1 minute here. That's the time period that I work with. If you want a longer time period before your bets expire, then obviously you've got the opportunity to change it. But for tonight, we're just going to go for 1 minute. And the amount that we're going to bet is, I think we said 300, didn't we? So I'll just make that 300. So just make sure that you've chosen that. And then you've got your red and your green buttons here. Now, what we're going to focus on is this time here, this countdown clock here. And of this, we're only going to focus on the seconds. Okay, so you can see here it's going down to 16, 15, and 14. Now, we will place our bet when this comes down to around about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so in that sort of time frame, that's when we're then going to be placing our bet, which means that we will be placing the bet as the candle is either coming out the top or it's coming out of the bottom of the band during that time period. So let's just quickly go through to see if we can find any that are going to happen. Okay, so we might have something happen here. So you see this green candle, which has now just turned red, which isn't particularly helpful. Okay, so you can see this candle here. Okay, and you see this countdown bit here. Okay, so we're going to watch this candle in the hope that it comes out the top. All right, and if it comes out of the top, we're going to bet that the price of it is going to go down, okay, over the next minute. And and in doing that, we're going to place a bet by clicking this button here, the red down button. All right, so I'll show you very quickly, irrespective of what this does. Okay, you can see here we're going down to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I've clicked the button and we've placed that bet. Okay, so we've bet $300 that in the next minute that candle will drop in price. Okay, and as you see, as we move through the time period, you can see the candle price is going up and down, and you can see here it's telling me whether I'm going to be winning any money or losing money. So at the moment I'm losing money because the price has gone up. Okay, just click this. So you can see here, all right, the countdown again. We've got 24, 23, 22 seconds before this candle finishes. All right, so that we've not got long to wait. So I'll just have a quick drink. So you can see now the price is going up. So we should lose this, which means that I've lost $300. And there we go. Okay, so it's come up telling me that I've just lost $300. Now we'll just wait. Now you see the candle has gone up now, and it's come out the top of this Bollinger Band. Now this is hopefully promising that we're going to get, this candle will finish somewhere up here, and we'll be able to place a proper down bet. So what we're doing is we're just keeping an eye on this countdown at the top, and we're going to hover our mouse over this green button. Okay, and you see its price has come down below the Bollinger Band, so now we've not got that signal. I'll just wait for a few more seconds, see what happens. A few more seconds. Okay, it doesn't look like it's going to go. Okay. Right, so you can see, okay, we held and held and held, and we were right to hold really, because the price didn't come out the top. Right, let's just have a quick look at some others, see if we've got any promising candles. Okay, here we've got a candle that's coming out the top. Not as much as I like, but it's coming out the top, and looking at the countdown now, 27 seconds. So we think that the price, now using our scenario, will come down. So we're going to click that red button, but it hasn't. It's come down. So let's just see if it goes up again in the next 10 seconds or so. No, it's not going to, is it? Okay, right. Let's have another quick look round, see if there's anything else. Oh, look here. Oh, it's typical, isn't it? It's always on the chart that you're not looking at. So you can see here that the price came down the bottom of the Bollinger Band, so we would have placed an up bet here. Okay. The only thing that gives me a little bit cause of concern, you see this sharp drop here and this sharp drop here. I would be quite cautious about making that bet, simply because you know, there is a pattern of drops here, but it looks like it's holding at the moment. But what we would have done is we would have placed an up bet here. You know, the price would have gone up, which seems to be doing okay. Look at that. See, so I might have been right to have been cautious. Yeah, so that's my cautiousness coming in there. I would have been cautious about placing that if I was using real money. If I was doing demonstration money, then I would have placed that bet. So I would have lost that at 300, okay, but I would have then made a second bet here straight away for another 300. So let's just have a quick whiz through the next. See what else we've got. See here, candle comes up out the top, and then we would have placed a down bet, which we would have won. Yeah, see how that works. Now, some of you guys will be thinking, well, hang on a minute, he's not placed any bets. What I'm trying to do at the moment is show you exactly how you do it manually, okay? And you can see at the moment we haven't placed any bets, and I've been probably on here now. So look at this. You see, this is a really sharp drop now. I wouldn't really be wanting to enter this market because it's really, if we pan out a little bit, there's this sort of potential happening here. So I wouldn't necessarily want to be trading this with real money. What I'll do is because it's come out 26 seconds, I'll see what's going to happen with this. And again, just to sort of get some skin in the game, if you like. No, it's just not going to play ball, is it? No. Okay, come out to that. I'll have a look at XMR again. Yeah, it's really, I really wouldn't be trading XMR now. You can see how it's dropping. We've got these long sticks. You need to get it, you know, much more stable than it is at the moment. So we'd lose XMR, take that off. Go to zukul.trade, still looking quite flat and reasonable. Alternating candles, which is good. We just need them to poke up out the top. That's what we need at the moment. Neo, there's a huge gapping going on here. Leave that alone. Litecoin, I think Litecoin's dropping a bit there. Ethereum. Ethereum. See here, it's just dropping through that coil. Oh, just a few seconds and we would have placed a nut bet then. Right, we're going to stick here. We're going to stick with ZEC BTC for the next 5 minutes or so. And what we'll do is we'll just place a few silly bets just so I can show you how in principle it would work. So you can see here, usual thing, we're looking at this second countdown on the right hand side. Okay, just quickly go over to the chat. Any questions in here? No. If you've got any questions, guys, pop them in the chat, and I will get to them. Okay, so we've got 9 seconds to go. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to place a reverse bet. So I'm just going to go down here. Wouldn't normally be placing it, but I've just placed a down bet. Okay, because theory being, I suppose, that the previous candle was up. Okay, so we've got up, down, up, down, up, down. So, so you can see that I just keep an eye on this timer here, all right, and then place the bet. I wouldn't place this bet here normally because it's not hit our rules. It's not come out at the top or out at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. So we'll just see what happens. So if we lose this, okay, because I do the 1 for 1, okay. Oh, it's actually going up, hopefully through the Bollinger Band now. So I'll come over to the red button, 5, 4, I'm going to place a down bet now. All right. Now, normally I'd be cautious. That's that original one that I placed. And normally I'd be cautious because it really hasn't come out of the Bollinger Band, in all honesty. Okay, and you can see here that that is a better signal. Okay, that's a better signal that it's popped up. But we'll see what happens. So you can see here I placed a bet of 300 that the next candle would go down. Okay, it hasn't, it's gone up, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to wait to see, and we're going to place another down bet because this candle looks like we're going to lose. And you can see here that we've got some highs here that this candle might be going for. All right. Again, we're keeping an eye on this countdown. We're going to move over to the red button, and when it gets to about 5 seconds, we're going to place a down bet now. Okay. Look at that. Okay. Now, if you'd followed what I've just done, okay, you would have made $594. And let me just explain to you how we've done that. You see here that you won't be able to see here now. Let me just get rid of this green. Okay. See this green candle? We placed a down bet here with about 2 or 3 seconds to go, that the next candle would finish at a lower price. Now, we placed a bet here with about 5 seconds to go, if you remember, because we thought we were going to lose that bet. But in those last 5 seconds, the price just dropped like a stone and finished here, which meant that when that minute finished, it meant that we captured that drop in price. So it meant that we'd actually won that bet. So we've placed a down bet here, and it looks like, again, we've just made another $594. So through luck rather than judgment, I'm not going to claim that I'm a super guru, but just by that system of using that 5-second countdown bit, we've made ourselves just over $1,100 just on those 2 candles by the way that price has moved. So hopefully that was a good example of by using the 1-for-1 system, how you can actually make some money. Now just very quickly, and notice that we're up to our 1 hour. Okay, guys. Right, do we have any questions? I'm betting live while Darren does this. Okay. Me waiting for algorithm to kick in. Oh, fantastic, Rocco. So you won them both as well. Fantastic. Well done, you. Oh, brilliant. Okay. Right. Well, what we'll do is we'll just give it a few more minutes. Okay, price has gone up. I'm coming late to the party, so I'm going to just click a down. All right. I wouldn't do normally, but just to because obviously I'm in demo mode, so I can be a little bit risky. But also in the fact that I just want to make sure we've got things happening for you guys to look at. So ordinarily, candle goes up, we would place a down bet here that the price would go down in the next time frame. It doesn't look that it's going to go down for us. We've got 16 seconds to go, so we're going to place another down bet. Okay, we're going to get. I'll keep our mouse over our red button, even though it's gone down. And we'll just keep there, and there we go. So we've just won another $579 now. Now the reason it's gone from 594 to 579 is because you'll see here that the price percentage has changed. So it was, I think, we were going to make it like a 98% return, and we've only made a 93% return. Okay, so that's the reason that that amount has changed. But you can see here that it's worked it out for you. So we've got bets of 300, and if we bet 300, we're going to get a return of 579. All right. So in actual fact, we're making a profit of 279 because obviously we're getting our $300 back that we've bet. So so that was a quick one. Does anybody else win that one? I won. Oh, Graham won. You won real money. Fantastic, Graham. Get in there, son. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, Okay, we'll go back in there then, shall we, guys? Let's see what else we're going to look at. Oh, right, great one to look at here. You see here, this candle finished at the bottom. Look where the next candle started, here. All right. Now, one of the golden rules that's called a gapping. Okay, so where the price jumps between the closing price and the opening price. And what happens then is that the price will always want to fill the gap, and you can see how the candle has filled that gap. Okay, now it will come down and it may still go up again, but it's filled that gap between the close of this candle here and the opening of the red candle. Okay, so if you see that gapping, then if you're bullish, shall we say, if you're risky with your money, then it'd be a good reverse bet to place, even though it doesn't interfere with any of the Bollinger Band methods that we're using at the moment. So you can see how that price is a huge gap, and it obviously recovered that gap there. Here is another one. See this gap here, this candle here. Okay, it finished here, huge gap because it opened and then it filled that gap here. Now we've got 30 seconds, 35 seconds. We've got another candle signal here. Okay, if I just scroll out, you can see that we've got some highs here to be aware of. So this candle is around about the highs here. So it could be, it's actually gone down a bit now, but if a candle does pop up, then it could be that it's got these highs to concern ourselves. So 8 seconds, 7, get ready to go down now. Okay, so we've placed our bets, and hopefully that price will drop again. I'll just have a quick drink. And whether we win or lose this, we'll probably call it quits after this, because I'm conscious it's gone past 9. And I know Graham's got a pub quiz to get to. Okay, so we've got 29 seconds. Don't be fooled by the big candles, because as you can see, there's huge differences. This market is pretty up and downish. So as you can see, it's come back up. So we've got a few seconds to go. Now, if we were going to lose this, we're going to place another down bet, because that's what our system says. So have your mouse over that red button, just in case. But it looks like we're going to win. Okay, brilliant. So we finished on another win. So hopefully you guys have won that as well. All right, so we've just a shade under 13 grand. So I'm not sure what we started with. I forgot to look. But even with doing some silly bets bobbing around here, it looks like we've still done pretty well. So not a bad half hour's work. So hopefully you guys. Okay, thanks. Now back in at $2 profit for this period. Okay, cool. Right, we're up to 6 minutes past. I'm going to stop sharing and just make sure. Well, what I'll do is I'll just check to see if we've got any questions first. So Rocco's 5 wins tonight. Happy with that. Fantastic. Okay, guys. Anything else that you want me to quickly go through on binary options? Now's your moment. Pop your questions in. If not, I will. I'll call it a night for. Some great gems of advice once again. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Appreciate that. So I'll just give it a few minutes. Like I say, if you come down to the bottom, if you want to add your comments in the chat at the bottom, by all means do. Make sure, if you are a Zukul member, that you put your affiliate link in there as well. Another $358 pound in the pot. Well done, Graham. Fantastic. That must be a couple of pints where you live. Okay. All right. I think we'll call it a night. Yeah. Off to the pub now. I'm going to open a bottle of wine. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Thank you very much for tonight. Really appreciate it. Like I say, put any comments you might have below here, and make sure you've got your affiliate link if you're a Zukul member. If you are not a Zukul member and you're looking at this for the first time and you want to get involved with using our bots, and remember, like I say, we've got crypto bots, we've got crypto versus fiat bots, we've got crypto versus crypto bots, we have got crypto versus gold bots. Again, you can trade, you can hold them, you can do whatever you want with them. Very flexible bots. So if you want to know more about that, have a look below here. Guys will have left their links. Those links are there to help you. Not if you want to join Zukul, you have to join through another member. It's invitation only. But if you want just some advice and find out a bit more experience about Zukul and how the bots work, then obviously the guys who've left their comments, those are the ones that you want to go and speak to. If you get in touch with me, that's great. But again, I will just simply direct you to the guys that have left comments below me. All right, so thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it, guys and girls, I should say. Really appreciate it. I've got a bottle of red wine waiting for me, and I shall see you next week. If not on Facebook or anything like that, I shall see you next week. I think we've got a hangout on Monday. I'm sure Jeremy will confirm that for you over the weekend, and I will see you then. Take care. Bye bye.